Well, a big hello to everybody in YouTube land, and today I've got a very different instrument sat in front of me, although you could be very much forgiven for assuming this looks like a Yamaha, because it looks like a Yamaha. The quality of the build of this thing is absolutely beautiful. It's a Medelli keyboard. Now, a lot of people will generally go, "Oh, I've heard terrible things about Medelli." I can only sort of report what I've got in front of me, and this is not what you would expect. This is just blindingly impressive. It's the only word I can use. The quality of this, I keep going back to this. The case, the construction, the screen, the buttons, the facilities. Well, I'm going to take you through it and show you basically what you get, and the pricing varies. I've seen prices around sort of €700 down to as little as £500. And of course, being in the UK, that's obviously from our sort of price point. About £530 is what I've seen it. But what a wow! I don't even know where to begin. You turned it on. In fact, let's turn it on. Let's just show you what happens. Right, the keyboard is off. I just hold the button on the back, and it comes up this beautiful graphic saying Medelli, and it slowly focuses in and then comes alive, and that's what you've got. We've got this lovely panel control, and to be fair, I actually love it. I do like the fact that all the buttons are lit, every single one, and there's even control where you can actually change the colour of all the buttons. But from a playing point of view, for anybody who's had a keyboard previously, be it a Korg or a Yamaha or a Accordion, it all makes sense. It's all in a very logical position. You've got your performance memories here. There's a button called OS, which then acts as your one-touch settings. So you can go for a quick setting. So you've got these 4 buttons that you can use like you do on a Yamaha. There's some really nice and you can get really some quite effective James Last sounds out of this thing. I keep going back to one thing, and the thing that sticks in my mind is the price of this. The speaker system, that I can't demonstrate the speakers, and I would never ever do what most people will do and just hold a microphone, because you don't get the quality. The speaker system in this is absolutely wow. It's as light as a feather. But the voices playing at the moment are fed directly from the keyboard to my computer, so you're hearing a direct live feed. But from an impression point of view, the sounds are very how would I describe the voices? Well, I mean, if I run through some of the sounds for you, I can give you a brief overview. So very, very similar to the Yamaha and even the Accordion and the Korg. You have on the screen this bank of 3 voices. You can layer 3 sounds together on top of each other, and then you've got a voice for the lower. So if I tap here on right one, I then can go to whichever category I want. So for example, if I wanted to go to piano, I now have a German grand. Let me just try that. Turn the star, there we go. And the voice is, I mean, the piano is very well sampled. But of course, it's a bread and butter sound. It's a sound that every keyboard has to sound good at. There's an octave control here on the panel. So if I want to go down an octave, maybe not that low, You cannot fault that for the. I mean, this is what I'm going to keep doing. Because keep saying for the money. And don't think that you are buying a baby Genos. This is not a baby Genos, so it's not an alternative to any high-end arranger keyboard. But what this product is, it's an incredible sidestep for somebody who maybe wants to take a keyboard on holiday with them in a caravan, or have a keyboard that you can simply pick up and take to a keyboard club, or take it to your friends and play. It's not a Genos. That is definitely not the case. That's the German Grand 2. Real bright piano. You hear that noise? It's not my heartbeat. That's a sustain pedal. And it's even got samples of the dampener, the sustain pedal on the piano. Damper on the piano. It's really surprising. This is the mellow piano. And don't worry, I'm not going to go through every single voice as some videos do. You've got rock piano. Honky tonk. Yeah, the keyboard's only five octave, unfortunately. It would be great if they did a 76 version of this. It really would. Octave piano. So there's lots of piano voices in here. Warm grand piano. Now, to me, better quality, less of, is always the better option. And we've got lots and lots of pianos in here, but harpsichord as well. That piano pedal noise is highly annoying. Why somebody thought adding noise to a piano is a good thing, I don't know. But it does get on your piano and strings, and then pop piano. But that annoying noise is still in the background. I don't know whether you can actually remove that. Let me just have a quick look. There's no mention, as I could see. Piano edit. What we got here? Resonance, keyboard, offset, effect. So that's just the effects and control. So I can't see any option to turn off somebody knocking at the front door. But there you go. It's what it is. Then if we move into in fact, let's have a look at a couple of electric pianos. Lovely, lovely piano. It really is. I like that. That's vintage EP1. And then you've got Dream electric piano. Very Yamaha sounding. Maybe a bit too bright for my liking. Classic electric piano. Very, very 80s. They got a Japanese electric piano, which I'm guessing is a Yamaha. There's not a lot of... I'm holding the sustain pedal down. It doesn't feel very... It's very... Yeah, the attack on it is probably a bit too hard. Then we got 80s electric piano. Yeah, that sort of sound. Modern electric piano. The piano section actually does... It's got a good selection. Tremolo electric piano. There's actually, there is 5 pages. You've got clavs. You've actually got a lot of clavs. Crystal jazz electric piano. So yeah, the piano sections are good, very good. However, we then get to the organ department, and I generally find, in actual fact, companies like Ringway, they don't do a good organ. They really don't have a proper sound, and it emulates the sound of an organ. But the bizarre thing is, because it's obviously not using a organ generator for voices, it's using samples. So if you listen to the C here, and you can hear the frequency running, you can hear it changing as it goes through the notes. So if you play a chord, you get a really bizarre, it's a weird effect. Hear it. One note, okay, play a chord. You can hear it pulsing. That isn't good. It doesn't, I don't think it actually has an organ engine. I think it's just samples. That's what it is. Not bad church organs then. Drop it down an octave. But this is a weird one. So I've got stereo drawbar organ, percussive organ, rock organ, and then they throw in that menu a church organ, and then you're back to rotary. So you can imagine, you're playing blah blah blah, accidentally hit the wrong one. No, that shouldn't be in there. But again, you can hear the looping. So if you play a chord, you get the most horrible effect. Another church organ in amongst the mix. So there are 8 pages of organ voices. And that's even including reed organs, rotary puff organ. Some very bright 80s, was it 60s? Let me have a look. Sorry, the light, bright 60s organ. some very bizarre. I don't think I can safely say there's one sound in here that I'm over the moon with. This is the category where the keyboard slightly fails. And that's because it's not running anything other than just samples, and you can't have sampled rotary organ. You need a raw sound with then the rotary effect added on top of the instrument, not the rotary effect sampled into the instrument. Because when you start to play chords, you get this really horrible clashy sound. It's not particularly pleasant. Anyway, let's move into accordions and see what we... So the accordions are quite good. Real accordion. Yeah, you can't go wrong with this. Now, what would you say this is? Supposedly it's an harmonica, but no. And then you've got soft harmonica. Harmonicas are not good. But then we're back to accordions, which are cool accordion, all that sort of stuff. Solo accordion. If you've got a MIDI accordion, this would be a great sound source for you to connect your MIDI accordion to, because there's so many great sounds. Soft accordion, and then we're into wah harmonica. Whoa. Passable. Certainly country and western wise, that would be fine. Dark musette, basically muffled. That's one way of describing a dark musette. Just close the filter. Bright. Turn up the treble. Some bizarre choices. Chorus musette. No, sorry. Musette 2. Yeah, nice. Of course, as I'm going to do 2 videos for this. We're going to run through the voices in this one, and then in the second one I'm going to show you some of the styles, and then let you have a look at the voices used with the style section. But for this, I want to just sort of show you what, if you buy one of these, what you're actually going to get, because the videos that I'd seen up till now were either somebody with a camcorder holding them over the shoulder, or were just very weird, is the only word I can describe, because I haven't seen an actual, let's have a real breakdown of this product. So this, for me, is showing you what you'll actually buy. So this is another musette. So there's 4 pages of these things, well, 3 and 1. But I do find that some of the combinations of voices that you have in here, there's some absolutely superb sounds, but then they kind of, as you've seen, either turn down the treble and call it dark musette, or do some weird stuff to the voice, because I suppose for the money, and again we're back to that wonderful phrase, I wonder that whether obviously the sample memory in this keyboard isn't big enough to accommodate what they wanted to do. But to me, it's just heartbreaking to see such a beautifully made and it is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with this keyboard in terms of build. I mean, it's even got rotary encoders, which, you know, companies like Yamaha don't even use on their mid-range. It just stops, you know. The one thing that I did find out was the size of this volume control. It's ridiculously big compared to everything else. But, you know, it's what it is. It's there, you grab it, and it didn't need to be that big. It would have been nice if it actually followed suit with this, and maybe just had a different colour. You know, for the volume, maybe it could have stayed green or whatever. But yeah, it's a shame that it just ruins the aesthetic of those lovely control buttons here, and then this great big thunking sort of 1960s dial. But it is what it is. So, see, this is another. See, they've taken the harmonica voice and put something with it, but it sounds like it's miles away. Bright accordion. Again, same thing. So let's go now into guitars, and this is one area that I am really over the moon with. They've got some really nice. So that's your real nylon. Then we got a real steel, and to be fair, for the price it is. Then we got rock guitar. Now that to me is too muffled. It's far too dark. I mean, it's fine for a backing guitar, but for a lead. But anyway, you know, cool funk guitar. There's nothing wrong with that. It's great. And of course, you've got those little after effects for the guitar. Real clean guitar. Now you can control the effects for that particular voice from this panel. There's a little black button, which is weird. Again, this is another novelty. Maybe they forgot to put some button on here, and then they just simply drilled a hole and put a little button. It's tiny, a tiny little black button. But then it changes, if you can see as I'm pressing the button, it changes what these controls can do. So each one has a name at the side. So you've got cut off, pan, attack, assign one, and then the middle column you've got things like resonance and reverb, and then over here you've got volume. So if I was to press the button so it goes to reverb for that particular column, and then just simply you've got immediate control, and having 3 dials is really quite handy. It's a great idea, but again, one of the things that I do love about this, and I struggle with the SX900 for example, if I press this button here and go to volume, I've automatically then got a volume control that's controllable, instead of having to go into the slider into the SX, or permanently assign something to the 2 controls on the SX. So this has been very well thought out, because I can toggle through different options, and volume being one of them is a super idea. And then if I go into slide steel, of course, the more pressure. We've got then slide clean. And then we've got sweet mandolin. Again, if I change that and add more reverb, because if you notice when I go to reverb, it only gets one light. So if I turn the lights up, that sort of sound, it's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Again. Cool lead guitar, and that's a really good sound. Power lead guitar. Add more reverb. So you got that. Then go to page 2, and this has got lots and lots of pages of guitars. Real jazz guitar. That effect in the background sounds like a wheezy old man. It's a bit too much, that. Sounds like somebody's old cough. 60s clean guitar. There are some really good guitars here. Harmonic steel guitar. And that's not a bad sample. Harmonics, NY guitar, nylon guitar. Nice. 12-string guitar. Yep, same one again. Blues guitar. Nothing wrong with that. Solo clean. Fifth, distortion. Okay, velocity steel. I'm not going to go through all these because there are loads and loads. It's a big sound, you know, and they keep saying, look at the size of the keyboard, look at the price of the keyboard, and there's nothing that can touch it. Another great guitar. Distortion lead 2. Now you see that's got a bit more effect on it. So if I add the reverb 2. Right, I'm out of guitars. Then I'm into basses. Now, a unless you're actually using these for styles, I don't really know, unless you're playing piano and you're doing your own left hand. Is that Heath? Real fret bass. Yeah, just skipping through them merrily. So you've got an awful lot of bass sounds. Wow. Including some synthy ones. Wah. Yeah. Right, and now we're into one of the sections that I'm slightly disappointed in. And this, I don't know what's going on with the world. What's wrong with decent strings? Somebody, please give me strings that sound like strings. Again, price point, you can't really complain, but it would have been nice to have had one wow string in here. These sound absolutely... No, sorry, it's horrid, absolutely horrid. I need a warm string, so I sat here and went through every single one of these. We've still got that raspy sort of start to... I don't know whether this is based on the fact that this isn't a European sort of instrument. And maybe the idea of strings is very different somewhere else. And I kid you not, you've really got to belt this thing to get that drum cymbal to... I'd be frightened of some actually cracking a key. And that sounds like, again, a very familiar sound from a big company starting with a Y. So then we've got Sweet Violin, if there ever is such a thing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of... If you wanted to play Stefan Grappelli, then you're fine. So that would work, that would be okay. Real cello, now listen to this. Listen to the speed of that sample. It sounds like an engine. Now this is my point here. Listen, this is where these samples need to get sorted. Listen to the vibrato on F. You can hear it. That's the sort of speed at which it's playing. However, when you play another note, it's going mental, because they've stretched the sample across the keys, and I don't even know. That's been stretched all the way down. Let's try. Right, okay, so that's one sample start. Okay, so they've sampled that note, and then they've stretched from A to F sharp. And you know that because if you listen to A, that's the lowest speed it starts. And then if you listen to F sharp, it's it's wobbling away merrily. Hear that? So So yeah, so there's not a lot of sampling. There's probably 1, 2, 3. I would say there's probably 6 or 7 notes sampled across to give you that sound. It's a shame. This sounds like a big Y sound. But very old. That's again the problem. It's a muffled string sample. Get rid of all of the stuff. Don't stick 12 pages of rubbish in the string section. Put 1 page of maybe 8 or 10 really good strings, and don't try and make a whole meal out of something. It doesn't need it. It really doesn't. Going back to these live strings again. Again, that's the concert strings sounding a bit brighter. Then we've got real harp. Okay. Live orchestra. Oh, that's nowhere near live. That's more like bottled orchestra. In fact, listen to this. And then let's have a look at concert strings. Can you tell the difference? I can't. Maybe there's a little edge on that concert string, but it's basically, it sounds like the same sample. Soft strings. Oh, that's another one that sounds like all the others. Right, okay, let's move into a different page. Let's try page 2 and hope that we have different sounds. Live contrabass, what would you use that for? Good question. Chamber music. Something to listen in the toilet. Oh, listen, it sounds like, hang on. It sounds like the other ones. I think somebody's been cheating here. And stretching out the sounds and just changing the name. Oh, what's this one? Strings and oboe. Yeah, okay. Arco strings. No. For 500 and something pounds, I could live with this. I wouldn't ever say that I would be using the strings all the time in this keyboard, but... Oh, right, now here's one for you. Live choir. I hope I don't sound like this when I'm alive. That's shockingly synthesized. Live choir ooze. Now. Right, this is the same problem as I explained to you earlier. Because they've taken a certain one note and sampled it and then stretched it across the keys. Listen, this sounds awful. But as we get down to the key that they've actually sampled, oh. And if you listen to the looping in that's pretty bad as well. Listen to the sound. You can hear where they've rejoined the sample so as it continues in a loop. Not that you're going to hold these things down and do this, but I like to do this as part of my bench test and road because it shows quality of detail in the instrument. So that sound probably was the right voice, but because they've stretched it all the way up here, this is what it ends up sounding like. Yeah, so they've literally stretched that sample. Oh no, there's another one. There's another real sample. Yeah, yeah. Synth choir sounds just as bad as the other ones. Orchestra. Muffled. It was probably a sample from sort of Tyros 1 era, because these don't sound fresh. So that's a combination of the muffled strings and the raspy string, and they've called it arc strings too. You can hear it. Brilliant string. Another old sample. No, that's not good. Again, same problem. Take one key, map it across all the keys, and you get this weird effect. I mean, that's just... no, sorry. Oh dear, strings are a bit of a failure on this. Let's see what movie strings sound like. Oh look, it's that old sound again. But it's got a weird phasing sound behind it. I mean, if you imagine you can't call that movie strings. It shouldn't be. No, sorry. Cool synth string. It's quite a good one. Soft synth brass. No string. Oh, hang on. Yeah, there's another old sound. Analog strings. Real violin. Are you bracing yourself for this one? Let's put the reverb up on this. Real viola. Real cello. It's a shame these samples sound so muffled and unreal. Oh, here we go. Some more choirs. Soft choir R's. Let's see if we've done the same thing. Yeah, see the difference in sound? Listen to that key. Listen to that key. That one sounds more realistic. That one doesn't because it's been stretched. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of these because they are quite disappointing. But needless to say, I have already been through all of these. There's 10 pages of them. And credit where credit's due, there are sounds for everybody in here. You will find one that you maybe will like, stroke tolerate, but there isn't anything in here that me personally, would go, oh my god, I've got to buy one of these because that is the best sound ever. But again, it's only just above £500, so let's not forget this. But yeah, you got banjo. Indian sitar. Now listen to the sample. It's got like this weird click. I don't know whether they've sampled it with the attack too harsh. There's a click sound. That would bug me. Right, let's get out of strings while we can. Okay, right, we're out of strings. We're now into brass. And we'll start off with a sweet trumpet. That sounds like my old Tyros 1. Wonder where that sound came from. Trombone. Sweet mute trumpet. fine. Live tuba. Yeah. Live French horn. It's not too bad. Wide French horn. What's the difference? Hard to tell the difference between some of these voices. Then we got real brass. That's okay. Pot brass. Now this with the delay and a little bit more reverb. It's a very James Last sound. It's really good. That is belting. If you use that as one voice and then layered and added a little bit of trombone and maybe a little bit of sax, you could get some really great effect from that. And then we're on to jazz trumpet. Doesn't sound... It's a very bizarre sounding jazz trumpet if it is. Okay, trumpet ensemble. Right, I've just seen how long this video is running, and I am going to break off here, and I'm going to come back to brass and then continue through the other voices as a secondary video. So we're going to actually have 3 videos for this. I don't want to have you sat there bored out your pants. I mean, we're now down to 47 minutes and counting, and I think that's plenty for anybody. So I'm going to leave it there, but I do want to show you all of the voices, because this, and I'm going to close with this on this first video. This is only a fraction of other keyboards on the market. It's got the most beautiful designed layout. It's got a really nice responsive touch screen, which is clearer than on my Genos, remarkably. The font detail, I don't know what sort of panel they're using for the touch screen, but it is really razor sharp. I do have that little problem, as we all have with the Genos and with anything else, for that Yamaha have stopped doing the tilting screen, in so much that you have a little bit of reflection on the screen. And I would say this is worse than my Genos because it's gloss. It's not matte as per the Yamaha version. However, it's really not, I can't fault it. I love the design of it. I really do. I like the feel of it. It feels like a premium product. You would not know if you give this to, say, for example, your grandchildren or a friend as a gift. They would think you spend thousands, because this does not come across as a cheap keyboard. The keyboard itself, the feel, the keys are very nice. Okay, yes, they're not premium keys, but I'll tell you what, these are no better or worse than anything else I've played. These are very, very nice keys. I even like the little detail of the light on top of the joystick. See, little ring. They've really put a lot of... I can't get my head around what you get for such little money. Like I said to you, the string section is something I think as a company they really do need to take a big look at. The organ needs, I mean, you can pick an organ voice and play an organ sound. It's not going to sound like Hammond ever. It really isn't. But for a couple of days away in a caravan, sat under the bench, or maybe the grandkids. If Christmas is coming, I mean, this is ideal for grandchildren because it has everything that would keep them interested. It's not like the really cheap keyboards that you get. It feels premium, and they would also think that Gran and Grandad, if you've bought them one, have just splashed out a lot of money. But you don't need to do that because it's not expensive. Right, so we're going to come back on video 2, and you're going to then go through the brass onwards, and then in video 3, we're going to take a look at the styles, and if I have time, the functionality in terms of, let's just quickly tell you that this keyboard has a very similar piece of software to the Yamaha. I can't remember exactly what the name is. I'll tell you in the next video. But it allows you to import and create your own sounds. So when I'm having a go at those strings, what I'm hoping I can do in a future video is create some nicer strings for this, and then maybe even give them away free if you've got one of these keyboards, just to give you an idea of how you can make this really flexible. It's a fun product. It's on a scale of 1 to 10, and just based on how far we've come on this video today, I'm currently at a 9. Maybe that will go down. I don't know. Maybe it will go up. Who knows? But there are things that I will, obviously, at the end of the video and the next one, talk to you about that are concerns, but not big problems. There's nothing in here, I can tell you now at this point, there's nothing in here that would stop me from buying this keyboard. I would buy it now. If I was looking for a keyboard just for some fun, or for some, maybe I'm downsizing, getting rid of my organ, or maybe my piano is too big and I want something smaller that I can stick in a cupboard, this ticks every single box. It really does. And I'm going to disappear now, and I hope you've enjoyed video 1. Please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, because when the additional videos follow through, because I will make more videos using this instrument, you'll get notified. So, and there's no charge for this. You can get all the information you need. It's all free via YouTube, which is a wonderful service. So do click subscribe, click the little bell so you get notifications, and maybe even give the video a thumbs up. Who knows? Maybe you've enjoyed it. If you haven't, sorry for wasting 47 minutes of your life. But until next time, take care. All the best.